Thank you for taking the time to listen to this recording on Whole Brain Sunday School, an engaging child-centered approach to teaching or helping in Sunday school. The information in this recording is an adaptation for a Sunday school of whole brain teaching. I highly recommend you finding out more at wholebrainteaching.com. And they also have a great book written by Chris Biffle. It's geared towards teachers, and it has lots of information that's very useful. I want to start with some of the hopes and dreams you probably have for Sunday school. I imagine that you would like that to be a place where children experience really a loving space and experience the peace of God. And obviously we want all children to be welcome, no matter who they are, and have it be a place where they can come together, gather, pray, love, and just learn and have fun. If you're doing this with a partner, I'd actually like you to press pause right now and take a moment to talk. Or if you're doing this by yourself, pause and write down, what do you hope that children will get out of Sunday school? And you can press resume or play again once you have done that activity. Most likely, if you have taught anything, whether it is Sunday school or something else, you have had the experience of children talking when they're supposed to be learning, or kids not engaged, looking out the window, children not cooperating, maybe they're fighting over who wants to play with or gets to draw with the purple crayon, or not following instructions. So I want to give you 4 different things that will help you address these biggest problems, some specific things that you can go and use in the Sunday school classroom. So the first thing that you need when you get in the classroom is to get children's attention. One great way of getting kids' attention is to have a call and response. So the leader or the Sunday school teacher can say the word spirit, and then all the students and the teacher too reply by saying spirit is here, and then putting their hands over their heart. Another option is that the leader could say love, then all the students respond putting their hands over their heart, which frees up their hands from anything they might be doing. Love is here, or peace, and peace is here. When they respond with spirit is here, their hands should be free. So asking them to put their hands over their heart is a specific thing that you can reinforce, and their eyes should be on you. Go ahead and pause this. If you can, practice with a partner. Even if you don't have a partner, practice out loud by yourself. So you want to say spirit, and then the other person says spirit is here, and switch roles and practice both ways. And when you finished, press play again. So this is a little bit more information about spirit is here, and there's a mnemonic to remember, which is SCC. Does not stand for the stock exchange. S is for spirit. You can also use class, joy, love. C is compliment. After you do that, you want to remember to give a specific compliment. So thank you, Johnny, for having your eyes on me. And then if you need to correct, Johnny, I need you to have your hands free. I need you to look at me. Try not to always correct the same child. So I'd like you to go ahead and either pause and write this down, or if you're with somebody, talk. What are the SCC of spirit? Which of those do you think will be hardest for you, and why? And what should be easiest? And when you're finished, you can press play. So as a review, SCC is spirit, compliment, correct. It's real important that you go in this order. It's easy to try to correct children before complimenting them. You'll get much better buy-in if you go in this order, and the compliment will frequently take care of behaviors without you even needing to correct anybody. So if you're with a group, I would encourage you to pause this and practice with a group of three, having one person be the leader, one person being a student who's following directions, and then one student not looking at the teacher or talking to another child. And remember to use SCC as you're practicing. Try to have each person in the group get a chance at each of those roles. And then when you're finished, go ahead and press the play button again. That is the first skill, which is spirit. The second skill that I want to talk about is called mirror. Mirror engages the whole brain of the child. When you talk, outside of telling stories, you want to make gestures with your hands. And those gestures can be anything. You do not need to overthink this. And you're going to ask the children to mirror or copy your gestures. Just like a mirror is silent, the children are silent as they are copying your gestures. Here's a graphic of mirror. And why do you want to mirror? It actually activates the brain. There are neurons, I don't know too much about this, but there are mirror neurons that get activated. It's fun. Kids like it, and it helps them stay engaged. It also lets you see who is listening to you and who is not listening to you. Here are two children mirroring what their teacher is doing. And how to do it is pretty simple. Before you talk, you're going to say mirror and hold up your hands. Students are going to hold up their hands and repeat the word mirror. And then as you talk, they're going to copy the movements. So go ahead and turn and talk to somebody next to you. Or if you're watching this by yourself, write down the information. What is mirror? Why should you use it? And keep on talking about this using big gestures if you're working with a partner until I say spirit to call you back to the group. If you're doing this by yourself, go ahead and press pause and then play when you're ready to continue. So as a review, before you talk, you're going to say mirror. Students will hold up their hands and repeat the word mirror. You need to hold up your hands to get your mirror ready. And then the students are going to copy your movements with your hands as you talk. So those are the first two things, which is the spirit. Spirit is here, and mirror. The third thing that I want to talk about is having a peaceful Sunday school. Kids want to know the expectations. You need to remember that every child, some kids are going to be new. Not everyone necessarily really wants to be coming to Sunday school. It might have been grandma's choice. It might have been mom or dad's choice. It might have been somebody else's choice. So reviewing the expectations every week using hand motions to engage the whole brain is a positive way to start out Sunday school. Here's some guidelines that might be useful. So the first one would be the teacher says God loves everyone, and the students and teacher would say we will be loving to everyone, and then everyone, including the teacher, puts their hand over their heart. And the second potential guideline is that the teacher says God listens to us, and then the students and teacher together respond with we will be good listeners. And everyone puts their hands behind their ears to demonstrate what it means to be listening. And then a third potential guideline is that God shares the world with us. And the students all say together, we will share with each other, and use the sign language sign for sharing. Here is that sign, just in case you don't know it. You hold up one hand sort of with an L, and then you wave the other hand sort of back and forth to show that you are sharing something. Let's go ahead and practice with a partner. So take those 3 guidelines, or even if you have to, practice by yourself, in which case pretend to be both the student and the teacher. Say the first part, which is the teacher part, and then say the student part with the hand motions. And then go ahead and press play once you've practiced all 3 guidelines. Now go ahead and turn and talk or write if you're by yourself. What are the 3 peaceful guidelines? Say each guideline with the gestures for each. And if you're, and then use spirit to, you want to repeat until somebody says spirit to come back, or if you're watching it by yourself, press play. So here is a review of the 3 guidelines. So we've covered 3 things so far. We have covered spirit. Spirit is here, which is the first thing. The second thing is mirror. The third thing is peaceful guidelines. The last thing that we are going to talk about, oh dear, oh, nope, that was right, is what to, nope, we're still on 3, which is guidelines. Sorry about that. Is what to do when a child is talking and interrupting you. We do want to hear what everyone has to say, and you might sort of think guidelines sound great. What about when you're reading the story and Johnny starts talking? Maybe it's related to the story. Maybe it's completely unrelated to the story. What are you going to do? You are actually going to interrupt the child and review the guideline. So you're going to say, God listens to us. And you teach the children that they all respond by saying, we will be good listeners, and put their hands behind their ears. Then you go right back to the story. And I want you to know, the first time I started doing this with my class of 4th graders, I had a very difficult group of kids. I kid you not. I had to do this 60 times over the course of 1 hour. I don't anticipate it'll be that difficult, just knowing who goes to Sunday school, but it is okay. Don't get frustrated. You're gently and lovingly establishing some limits. It is okay if you have to repeat this many, many times. The first few times, the kids will learn very quickly, and you can give them a smiley. We'll talk more about that for following along and saying we will be good listeners all together. I'd like you to go ahead and practice in groups of 3, having somebody interrupt, being the teacher and the listener. Go ahead and stop pausing once you've done that. So last thing is having some fun with the scoreboard. Kids love to earn points. When they're listening, you can go ahead and say, good job, that's a smiley. And the kids respond by saying, oh yeah. And when they're not listening, you can say, oh, that's a frowny. And all the kids quickly say, aw. And they have to do it quickly. They earn another frowny if it's too slow. But if it's fast, you can go and say, oh yeah, that was good. And then, or like, that's a smiley, you did that quickly. And so then they respond with, oh yeah. What are you going to do with the points? Absolutely nothing. Kids just like to earn points. Go ahead and talk with your partner or write it down. What is the scoreboard? Tell your partner all about it using gestures. And here is a review of the scoreboard. So, quick little detail about the scoreboard. The total number of points on the 2 sides should always be within 3. So you could have 3 smileys and no frownies. The next score is a frowny. If you have, let's say, 5 frownies and 2 smileys, no matter what, the next score is a smiley. Go ahead and talk about that with your partner. And press pause. Here is the review of reviews. Pause as you need. Review of Spirit and SCC. Review of Mirror. Review of Guidelines. Review of Scoreboard. I hope that this was helpful. If you'd like to learn more, I highly recommend checking out the site wholebrainteaching.com.